Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. I am Najerah HadjiNaim. I will be talking about Sister Calista Roy adaptation model. Sister Calista Roy is now known to individuals occupied in the sphere of nursing. She is known as outstanding writer, theorist, researcher, and educator. She finished her master's degree in nursing and PhD in sociology. The adaptation model of Calista Roy nursing was developed by Sister Calista Roy in 1976. The statement of the theory, the goal of nursing is to promote adaptation for individuals and groups in each of the four adaptive models. One of the examples is the physiological needs, self-concept, role function, and interdependent relation. Those contribution to health, quality of life, and dignity with dying. We have the adaptation model. The adaptation model focuses on interrelatedness of our adaptive system. It's a deductive theory based on nursing practice. The RAM, known as the Roy adaptive model, the nurse who is interested in physiologic adaptation, as well known as the nurse who is interested in psychosocial adaptation. The adaptation of Roy's models is responding positively to environmental changes, the process and outcome of individuals and groups who use consciousness, awareness, self-reflection, and choice to create human and environment integration. So we have the Roy's models of adaptation. So number one is we have the input, and number two is we have the control process. Number three is we have the effector, and number four we have the output. So the adaptation models, so that we have in the input is we have the stimuli adaptation level, the control process, mechanism, regulatory, and cognitor. We have the effectors, the physiological function, the self-concept and role function, and interdependence. And we have the output of adaptation model, which is the adaptive and ineffective response. Those are the feedback of adaptation model. So we have the focal stimuli of pregnancy, the uses of the nausea and vomiting, the contextuali of stimuli, meals, and proper nutritional habits, and willingness to be pregnant, and it suppresses adaptation to pregnancy. Focus of fetal health and relationship with the spouses, family, colleagues, and social environment, insufficient social support and ability to cope up with stress, and insufficient adaptations to marriage. So the residual is of the adaptation model is the difficulty in adapting to changes in pregnancy and disbelief at ability to cope with the chances, duration of relationship with husband before marriage, insufficient knowledge about the pregnancy and NBP. So the stimuli here is we have the physiological, the nausea or retching or vomiting, increased sensitivity to smells, insufficiency and abandoned nutrition, weakness and tiredness of dehydration, and hypokalemia and weight loss. So we have the self-concept, we have the physical self and personal self. So the physical self is being an AC, unity, feel tired and underweight, thinking that NBP will harm the baby. So the personal self is loss of control, unable to cope NBP, disabled with pregnancy, and social isolation and loneliness. So we have the adaptive system humans, we have the regulatory and cognitor. So regulator is fluid, hydrates, and balance, acid balance, and cognitors is learning through observation and through mistakes and through educator and counseling. So role of function, we have the inability to fulfill responsibility at home. So this is the decrease of the performance at work, of inability to go work, inability also to take care for a child. So the interdependence in the adaptive system, human, is we have the disrupted relationship with spouse and family. For example, is the parents and the children, colleagues and individual in the social environment. So adaptive system, human, is we have the adapted and the ineffective. So let's jump to stimulus. We have the focal stimuli and contextual stimuli and residual stimuli. So the focal stimuli, the degree of change of stimulus most immediately confronting the person and the one who which the person must take adapted response. That is the factor that precipitate the behavior. So the contextual stimuli, all the stimuli presents that contribute to the behavior or causes or precipitated by focal stimuli. So the residual stimuli that may affecting behavior but whose effort are not validated. So the other example of the stimulus is the example is the smoking, and the focal is the nicotine addiction. So the contextual here is believed that smoking is enjoyable and relaxing and part of our routine. So residual belief about body image with smoking is cessation. So the subsystem cognitor of the system, it is major copying process involving of our four emotive channels. So the perceptual, the information and the processing, learning and judgment and emotion. So the regulatory system, it is a basic type of adaptive, the pieces that respond automatically through neural, chemical and endocrine copying channels. So adaptive models is we have the physiological mode and self-concept and role performance mode and interdependence mode. So let's talk about the physiological mode. In the physiological mode involve the body basic needs of dealing with adaptation and regard to the fluid and electrolyte, the exercise and rest of elimination. So this is based on the nutrition and circulation and oxygen. So we have the number 2 is we have the self-concept mode. The composite or belief and feelings that one holds about oneself to given time is to form from perception and particularly to other reaction and direct one's behavioral, physical, and personal self. So the number 3 is the role performance mode. So the role function is the performance of duties on given position in society. So the number 4 is the interdependence mode. It is involved one's relation with significant other and support system. On this mode, one maintains psychic integrity by meeting needs for nurturance and affection. So the response here is the adaptive response and an ineffective response. So the adaptive response that promote integrity of the person in term goals of survival, growth, and reproduction, mastery, and mastery. So an effective response is that do not contribute to adaptive goals, that is survival, growth, and reproduction, and mastery. So I think that will be all, and thank you, and assalamu alaikum.